Well, good morning. This is Dave Johnson with Day Trade the Markets. I just placed a buy stop. It was filled immediately and just got filled just literally seconds ago, and then it's come up already. So, market is pretty volatile here today. We've had one good structure. I'll just spread this out a little bit, and that's this high velocity move. And well, actually, it's sort of a combination because we've got a magenta bar, which is our strongest selling bar, and we've also got within that formation, within that bar, a formation called a high velocity move. So we not only had good speed as the market came down here, but good aggression as well. And when the market came up here and decelerated and came back down, I put in a buy stop one tick above there to get filled long should that high get taken out. It did, and we're now long from 34.75. I tried to get long here just after the low came in. It popped up and didn't go down and make a new low, so I tried to get long here. It never did pull back to there, so I went ahead and put this long entry in here, and so that's kind of where we're at this point. So it's moved up to 37. So it's you can see here we've only been trading for what is that 15, 16, 17 minutes, and it's pretty darn volatile. I'm going to go ahead and just to be a prudent trader, now that it's moved a couple of points in our favor, I'm going to go ahead and sell one up there at 36.75 and put in a break-even stop right at our entry price, which is right here at 34.75. So sell stop here. Yeah, I'm going to put it one tick above. So it's hit. Okay, we just got filled on that. So I'm going to reduce this down to one contract, and yeah, we're just one tick to the good on that. So a couple of points there. But this I should mention too that the overnight low, I just should mark that in, was at 32.25 right here. So the market very early, took it out with aggression, and obviously the overnight highs and lows are good target areas. When a market comes down and tests the lower, goes up and tests the high from the overnight session, and gets rejected like it did here, that's a pretty good sign that there's some responsive traders coming in this case responsive buyers, willing to buy at lower prices and then likely going to send the market up. So we'll see what we get out of here. I've only got the two contracts on just because I try to get two filled down in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in a couple of markers on this trade. Got one right in here. Let's see. We got filled at 36 right here, and we're long from right here. And we now have our stop in place. Just one tick here. So just want to get those three markers in there. So this is the overnight, just so we can kind of keep track of that. And as far as the high on the overnight session, it's much higher. Overnight it got up to 44.50. So we've really got our first objective here is around 43. That's the next barrier actually that we're looking at. So in the overnight market, it got like a point and a half above that, and then backed off and came all the way down, and then tested our support at actually our let's see. Well, we had potential support at 36, but it did get down to 32.25, which is our next support, and in the overnight session I'm referring to. So, okay, now we have just confirmed we've got a high velocity move in the opposite direction. This is usually very bullish because if you have very aggressive selling with speed on selling here, as we did with this first high velocity move, which is this first sort of dark rectangle, vertical rectangle here, and then the market turns around and kind of offsets that with a buying one here. Now this second one doesn't totally offset it, it's actually overlapping and higher. But as long as this market can continue, it might dip a little bit. Now I've got the stop in here just near the low of it, which is a likely support area. So it's I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to adjust this stop down just below here. If I put it just below, it'd be at 34, and we're long from 34.75. The way I've got it set up right now is I've locked in a tick. Not that that's a big deal, but I'm just trying to be as prudent as possible on the management of this trade. With the volatility that we've got here, you can see that, we've gone up and down 6 points in 20 minutes here. So pretty volatile situation. So I think because of that, I'm just going to leave the stop in where it is. Usually when it's more volatile, you got to give it a bit more room and trade with smaller contracts, generally speaking. Giving it more room, meaning you've got to have larger stops than you might otherwise or regularly use. But I think I'll just leave it in here and just kind of see what we get out of this, because if we can get some follow through here, it could certainly move quite nicely and have a good rally. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. We've got our stop and everything in place. I am going to cancel this other order here for now, though. No sense in having that, and we just got one other contract going on here. So just leave it like that. I'll pause the recording and pick it up when need be. Okay, now we've just had a selling bar. In other words, it took out its previous bar. This is interesting before I stop. We've got a green bar here that came down and decelerated. A bar that decelerates, in other words, compared to its previous bar, and it should have its high taken out. So we should take the high out here, and if it's got any strength at all, continue on and make new highs. So I think our stop is actually in a really good spot here now that we've had this bar that was just been created, because the low on that is at 35.50 and our stop is at 35. So we're giving it a couple of ticks, and I think that's a reasonable amount, and we're looking good on this. So I'll go ahead and pause the recording, and we'll see what we can get. Okay, just restarted the recording. I've just placed another order in here to buy two, just at the top of this high velocity move. As you can see right here, let's get this arrow. Here's the top of the high velocity move. So we had dipped down here when I'd stopped the recording. We had this decel bar here, so we thought this was a good spot for our stop, and the market did end here on the downward move, and now it's moving up. Whether or not it's going to come back into this area, who knows, but for the time being, I'm just going to leave that stop in, or I'm sorry, the buy limit in, to buy another two contracts at that level. And I am going to just keep my eye on this market, and obviously I need to place a trailing stop. I would actually bring my stop up to here under regular circumstances, just below those most recent green. Maybe I'm going to put it here instead, just a point in our favor for the time being. We may not get filled on this. It's moving up fairly nicely. Based on the overnight market, we did have a pretty good leg down from around the 38 level, and also from around the 40 level. So I'm just going to mark those on as I can use this right here. This is a 38. It's a potential resistance area. It didn't really, let's see, well, it got up to 38, 37.50. And what was the, so I was looking at 38. So it, got close to that and backed off. Now it's, certainly made its way through. The next area would be right around 39.75. So we're getting pretty close to that. 39.50 we just hit. So these are the next two areas of likely resistance. So you can see this first one up here, came within 3 ticks at here, 2 ticks at here, and then it broke through. This one we just come within 1 tick. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to have to, I'm going to have to cancel that buy, and I'm going to have to raise this stop, I think, up to here. To 36.75. So I'll just move this to here so we can follow that. That's a 2, so we locked in a couple of points on that second contract. If we can get above these 2 upper arrows here of the likely resistance area from the overnight session, could definitely have a good move up. The next one will be around 42.50. So this kind of volatility early in the day can lead to fairly good vertical move for the rest of the day. So it's a lot of, it's a good battle going on there. As I said, it moved up and down 6, well, about up 4, down 6, up 6 within 20 minutes. That's pretty volatile. Okay, it's continuing to move up. That's good to see, obviously, from our long position. So I'll just leave the stop in Well, here we're moving nicely now. We'll probably get an aggression bar out of this one, and then I'll be able to move the stop underneath that. This is, there's this looks like it's attracting, yeah, okay, blue bar. So I want to go ahead and raise my stop. I'm going to put it 2 ticks below the low of this blue bar. You can see the low of the blue bar at 39. So my stop is now 38.50, and I'll just put that marker in there. So what's that, about 4 points, 375, and this is our first exit here. So, and of course we're along from 34.75. So I think everything's in play here like the way we want it. So we'll just, once again, go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording. As you can see, the market here has come off down to the low of the blue. It's taken up the low by a tick. Our stop is 2 ticks below it. So obviously we're in jeopardy here getting stopped out. Just who knows, maybe it'll find some support here, but it's now that it's come within a tick of it, I just thought I'd restart the recording, see if we actually do get stopped out right now. But at any rate, just want to bring you up to date on that. Our stop here is at 3 3/4 points in the favor here of the second contract. So the first contract, of course, was exited right here for a 2-point profit because we're long at 34.75. Took our first exit at 36.75, and our stop here at 38.50. So, at any rate, looks like we're going to get stopped. So, anyway, but I'll pause it now and pick it up when needed. Okay, just restarted the recording. You can see it just hit it right there. So we're stopped out at 3 3/4 points on the second contract. And here was our exit on the first one at 36.75, and of course we were long from down here at 34.75. So 2 points on the first half of the position, and 3 3/4 points on the second half of the position for 5 3/4 points. So this area up in here that we're looking at as potential resistance, it did come through it here with some fairly aggressive buying, but this wave of buying, it could very well come back down into this area before it can find some support at this stage of the game, and maybe even lower than that. At any rate, there's a live trade in the Emini S&P for Thursday, October the 20th, 2016. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.